Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the QLS channel. We are back for another match of the quarterfinals in Cape Town. This one, USA taking on the Flying Fijians. Now, we already know New Zealand have made it through to the semi-finals. We already know Samoa have made it through. Can Fiji join their Pacific Island brothers, or will it be the USA to cause the upset? The last 5 times that these two sides have clashed on the Rugby Sevens field has all gone the way of Fiji. And looking at the starting lineup, there's a high chance that it could go that way again. It will be Mothinotangi, Vikarabili, Matana, Nathuno, also Saturanga. My Samoa moves into the starting lineup. He wasn't there last time for the last matchup, but the way that he played off the bench, they decided to give him the crack. Plus, we've seen the injury of Talatholo, which has meant that there's a gap that needs to be filled. Then the last man, Filippo Bucayaro, is going to be there for the Fijians. Then for the USA, it is Thomasine, Schroeder, David Still, Perry Baker, huge amount of experience and tries for that man. And also Kevon Williams, Lucas LeCamp, and Marcus Tupuola. That is the side for the USA. Both sides come into this game with decent form, you'd have to say. 2 wins and a loss, I believe, for the Fijians. Whereas you look at what we've seen for the USA, I believe they have 2 wins and a draw for their group stage. They did draw up against the Australians, which meant that Australia did actually miss out on making their way to the quarterfinals. But I believe it is going to be the Fijians actually wearing that dark navy color. He's pointing at one of the USA players, calling him out early. Think he's fired up to be there. But yes, Fiji, they will be kicking off this one from right to left in the third quarterfinal. Nathunu to get us underway for another match of the Cape Town Sevens, kicking off long now. Fiji chasing this one hard, nicely taken by Lucas LeCamp off the catch, off the pickup of Thomasine. Now Perry Baker, look for the miracle offload early. The Billy knocks it on, and it will be the scrum feed for the USA. Both sides looking like they want to play this game at a high tempo. The last thing the USA needs to do, though, is try and play like the Fijians, because there's one reason that Fiji play so well the way that they play, and that's because they've been doing it their whole lives. The USA, when they have that little bit more structure, normally a lot more successful. And the new kit for Fiji says, Nate, yeah, that kind of navy blue, the combination of that light blue scattered in there as well. I got Kevon Williams puts the ball in now. Lucas LeCamp running it hard, looks for the risky offload again. Pass on the inside. Here comes Perry Baker. Slings it over the top. Tupuola has to wait for it, but it's been considered as a forward pass now. Fiji will have themselves the scrum feed again. Go USA, says Neymar. Let's get it, Fiji, says Nate. Okay, Perry Baker, he's disappointed. He's saying that that first pass was not forward. The referee says it is, and Alus Leblus, says Neymar there. Bucayaro about to feed the ball in for the Fijians, and they are in a perfect position to look for some sort of set play attack. Ball goes in now for the Fijians. Bucayaro passes across to Nathunu. Now to my Samoa. He scampers through. Done it beautifully, and that will be the try for Fiji, the first of the match. And my Samoa, he's been one of the standouts for Fiji throughout this competition. Baker not cooking today, says Nate. 3 tries for Manueli. My Samoa, and he gives Fiji the early lead. Great step, goes through. Kevon Williams, I thought he might have hurt himself there, the way that he stopped accelerating after my Samoa. I think he just got that wrong-footed, that he knew he was never going to catch him from there. But Samoa, they have already qualified. My Samoa now scoring the try for Fiji. There's a chance that we may see a possible all-Southern Hemisphere semi-finals with New Zealand, Samoa, Fiji, and South Africa. Now, there would be some massive matches that will take place. Fiji haven't lost a quarterfinal match since Vancouver 2020. Now, last week in Dubai, they didn't actually make it to the quarterfinals. So already improving from last week. Fiji have won 7 straight quarterfinals. Another stat that they've just shown on the screen. But Nathunu will kick this one down deep. USA decide to leave it for now, but now Tabola has to claim it. Now Kevon Williams, wow. My Samoa hitting that one with pure pace, but Kevon Williams, he doesn't look happy at the moment. He's making a lot of facial expressions. I don't know if that's just because he's excited or if he has actually got some sort of injury. Speaking of injuries, another USA player down. Thomasine goes to David Still now, trying to beat Nathunu by running over the top of him. Finds the offload back to Thomasine. Now Tabola gives it to Joe Schroeder. That might be Perry Baker currently down, is it? Schroeder. Once again, right, there's been a stoppage in play. They think it's relatively serious here. Is he going to be all right? Might be. It is Lucas LeCamp who's down at the moment. Fell awkwardly, like they've said. That is a big player to have out for the USA this early on in the contest. My son Moe's been trying to turn all of the defenders inside out throughout this contest. The lone try scorer so far for Fiji. Taking some deep breaths at the moment. Some water from the sideline. It's still hot, even though it is evening in Cape Town. Yeah, Lucas LeCamp. Unfortunately, it's actually my Samoa's step that has caused LeCamp to fall awkwardly the wrong way. Just with how quickly he was able to break his way through. My Samoa showing why he should be in that starting lineup for the Fijians as we move further through the Cape Town Sevens. But managed to score himself the try. Very happy about it as well. Even though he wasn't smiling, we know he was smiling on the inside. My Samoa. Currently, though, he doesn't look like he's doing too much smiling. It looks like he's doing a bit of dry heaving. He doesn't look too flash. My Samoa, maybe a bit dehydrated after breaking through, but they have just got the little bit of a stoppage here, making sure that the player's going to be all right. The next match that does take place, it will be South Africa versus Great Britain. That will be kicking off at 8:03 a.m. New Zealand time. USA go. There's Lawrence, currently down by the 7 points, but definitely a side with the potential of being able to get back into this contest. Fiji, they have suffered a defeat. That was up against South Africa, 19 points to 7. Started in a similar fashion as well. Fiji scoring early, but then it was actually the Blitz box who were able to get themselves try after try. Bulla Bulla. There's Nazi Williams there. Currently still the huddle. They're making sure Lucas LeCamp is going to be all right here. I believe he's just been taken off the field. The USA, not too sure who they bring on to replace him. Maybe Isdale or Brozell might be the option. Yeah, my Samoa, he's still, I believe he's all right, but he's just really looking like he's struggling out there in the heat currently in Cape Town. These players have been out in the sun pretty much all day. There's been some rain falling. It's a bit slippery out there on the park at the moment. And go Fiji, Abula Vanaka, says Peter. Looks like it's going to be the scrum feed now, though. The USA will be in their favour due to the fact that they did have that serious injury. Just having a bit of a coaching interview with Ben Gollings, the man in charge of Fiji. After last week, he would have been nervous, wondering if he still had a job for Cape Town, but he has. It looks like he's been able to turn around the side pretty well. He got smashed by Fiji boys. There's Nate there. And yeah, normally, it's the thing. If you're a strong player and you get hit hard by Fiji, it's game over for you, isn't it? And Vanaka for this live chat. There's Kalare, and we are going to be back for the semi-finals for the 5th to 8th place playoff games. We are hoping to be live tomorrow night also. So the next game that we are going to see will actually be at, I believe, about 2 a.m. tomorrow morning for the men's side of the draw. We might be doing a bit of the women's side. If we are up early enough, we've also got the cricket coming up for West Indies versus Australia. The round of applause going around the ground for Lucas LeCamp being able to go off the field. Just going to have a quick look, see what women's games are going to be coming up through to the semi-finals. In that department, it is going to be New Zealand versus Ireland and USA versus Australia. Those are the two semi-final fixtures for the women's side of the draw. But 3 minutes left. Kevon Williams, once again, he's doing a whole heap of grinning each time he tries to pass the ball. I have no idea why. I don't know if he's grimacing or if he's just, like I mentioned, very happy to be there. But Kevon Williams passes it across now. David still rough pass. Goes off. Now to, I believe it would have been Brazil. Had no real chance there. Quick tap taken by Kevin Williams. Wasn't on the mark though, so we'll have to go back for it. Only still 2 minutes 30 left of the first half. Plenty of time on the clock now. I'm starting to learn more and more that being awake for about 16 hours, or maybe a bit longer than that, your eyeballs start to close a little bit more as the live streams go on. We've been doing not too badly, though. We have been away for a long time. We're getting up nice and early tomorrow, so we can do West Indies versus Australia. 5 tackles made by Fiji, 5 missed tackles in the field of play as well. Nicely taken by Schroeder at line-out time. Kevin Williams once again smiling, was doing something. Grimacing, I believe it is. I think he might have some sort of injury now. Bit of a step there. Ball on the outside to Perry Baker. Good step, but tackled nicely on the halfway line by Nathungu. Now, back across. Schroeder. Good wide cut-out pass. David still unable to take it. It will be a knock-on. And now Fiji will have themselves another scrum feed. So the handling from the USA has been disappointed in the early stages of this contest, and it's been costing them opportunities. Fiji will make the most of this chance now, try and get themselves their second try of the game. They're about 40 metres out from the USA line also. Like I mentioned, at 8:03, that will be the next matchup taking place between South Africa, and they will be playing up against Great Britain. All about to be fed in by Filippo Bucayaro. Puts it in there. Nice hook from the USA. Counter hook. And it's going to work out well. Thomasine does brilliantly there in the middle of the scrum. Big run forward. Taken down nicely. Almost a trip on his Dale. Now going off short. Kevin Williams. One more to Thomasine. Trying to break up the middle. The Fijians only ahead by 7 here. If there's a try for the USA late in this one, would definitely be a good chance. That's going to be a penalty straight away for the Fijians. Great work from Vakura Billy to be able to get themselves another turnover. So far, 28 passes from USA, only 2 from Fiji. So they may not have had a majority of the possession, but they've got all the points on the board at this current stage of the match. Just 1 Fijian carry compared to the USA 17. 8 tackles made by Fiji. USA are yet to make themselves 1. Come on, Ben and Company, says it was Mike there. Line out throw once again will be Filippo Bucayaro. Only 5 seconds left in the first half. Taking a little while there for Fiji to get it right. Swatted back. David still knocks the ball on again. Believe it's going to be a bit scrappy. And that will be the end of the half. 7-0 for Fiji currently. As this game sits, the winner of this game will go on to face up against New Zealand, I believe. That will be a big matchup. Don't know whether or not the USA, when was the last time they beat New Zealand? I'm trying to think through. Fiji always beat New Zealand. Other than, I think the last time the two sides met. So it's an interesting stat in that regard. But I think New Zealand would definitely rather play USA if they got the choice, because the Fijians, they're dangerous anytime they come head-to-head with the Kiwis. But the winner of the next matchup between South Africa and Great Britain, they will go on, and that will actually be, I believe they will go on and actually face up against Samoa in tomorrow morning's fixture. Billy taking some deep breaths there for his side. He's had a good half. He's been busy helping the Fijians to a 7-0 lead, but it was a great try from my Samoa, the lone try of the half. At the moment, some very angry words from the USA coach. And the thing is, USA, they've had all the possession. All they need is to just start putting the points on the board, and this game could change. Kevin Williams trying to tell his side they've still got a chance here. They just need to make sure that they don't give up. Fijians doing the last little preparations to get into the second half now. Don't believe there'll be too many changes at this point in time. Mofinofangi, a player who's been out there the whole time, but we've hardly seen him throughout this matchup. 15 minutes away, though, from the final quarterfinal. That will be South Africa taking on Great Britain, in which the Blitzboks will come in as heavy favourites, but Great Britain in the last competition actually getting themselves a win over South Africa. They might also feel relatively confident, but this one going to be kicked off by the USA this time for the second half, going from right to left. Hey, Thomasine has been told to wait by Jordan Way. They're just going to get that microphone working of the touch judge. Almost done. Just making sure all of his wires are intact and it's in the right place. How did Portugal lose to their neighbours across the ditch? Morocco, says Nate there. Yeah, another big upset for the Moroccans. They look like they're doing very well at the moment in this competition. For the FIFA World Cup, and Great Britain looking solid, says Nate. They certainly are. Drawing with Australia a little bit earlier on, which also helped them towards the next stage of the competition. Right. Referees now sorted out. USA kicking off the second half. Thomasine to get us underway here. Kicks off high and relatively long. The USA swatting it back. Kevon Williams knocks it backwards. Thomasine now across. Relatively deep at the moment. It was quite a flat pass. I've said that it was backwards. Thomasine now recycling. Trying to keep this one alive, but it seems like the Fijians have just been all over them in the defensive side of things. USA losing about 30 metres, but now the space opens up on the outside for the quick man. David Still starting to get the strides going. He's going to try and bump him off, and he does just that. Great body position from Still. Takes down Filippo Bucayaro, but taken down himself on the 22-metre line. Thomasine now. Nice step, great tackle made by my Samoa. And how's New Zealand doing, brother? They are through to the semi-final to face the winner of this game. It could be a Fiji versus New Zealand semi-final, or maybe the USA with the inside ball to Schroeder. Reaches out. He might have just got there, Joe Schroeder. He's a long individual when it comes to that arm span. Those extra inches may have just helped him out. Hey, yeah, like the video says, Mark, and there's no mountain too high. Amish New Zealand can beat Fiji. There's Peter Stowers. Wow, what a try that is from Joe Schroeder. Got a knee to the side of his head from Vakurabili. You'd have to say that's almost a yellow card offence from Vakurabili. But I don't think they've looked at that aspect. And hey, Fiji to clinch this, it's great. They also look in great shape, says Roof. The big bump off of Bucayaro. It was a good shot put in by the teammate of Bucayaro there, I believe. Who was that? That was Jeremiah Matana helping out his teammate. Some great stepping from David Still. Joe Schroeder just having that momentum. Now, it's going to be 5 points to 7. Still a kick to come for the USA. Keeping this one relatively close at the moment. New Zealand haven't been too flash lately. Hopefully they pull finger and go back to the basics. There's Terry Tamauri there. So, yeah, their next game, it is going to be head-to-head with the winner of this contest. USA missing the kick. So now it's going to be another nice take by Satoranga. Joe Schroeder tries the counter ruck. Doesn't work out for him. Mothinothangi. Man who I mentioned we hadn't seen a lot of. Just thrown the ball away to the USA. Now Thomasine going to have this one 45 metres out from the line. Little bit of a counter ruck. Big fend off there on Bucayaro. Nice work so far from the USA to keep a majority of the possession. Now Kevon Williams almost goes through Amish. Talking to Jamal from Gloucester Rugby today. There's Harry and Luck, and also we have got these pancakes. Was delicious. And then now nice run down the wing. David Still breaks one. And he does manage to score the try. The USA take the lead up against Fiji with 4 minutes left on the clock. It is just showing you can be a great world-class side like Fiji, but if you can't get your hands on the ball, your opposition are going to keep on really attacking the line. But David Still had a phenomenal game so far for the US. Fiji just need their hands on the ball. And also, yeah, Fiji will win the tournament, says Mark there. And also, Q-Lads Rocks, Nate, Morocco, a giant killers kicked Portuguese backside, says Ruth. But David Still scores it. USA is good, very underrated. Exactly right. Like, you look at someone like a Perry Baker with the amount of tries he's been able to score throughout his seven circuit, yet they haven't really got a huge amount of, I guess, recollection for what they've been able to do. That is massive there from USA, kicking it from the touchline, 12 points to 7. Fiji going to need a converted try here to get them back in the game. They haven't been in the USA's half. Putting him down, held him up for a little while. Joe Schroeder lets him come down. Right, it's the basics here that Fiji need to get right. Going to be kicking him behind. That's a different tactic. But now Nathunu going to win the foot race. Tries to grubber it. Waiting for this ball to bounce up. Great work from Nadovalo. Now another pass on the outside. Mothino Thangi gives it to my Samoa. This is their first attack of the second half. Wanting to make the absolute most of it, like I mentioned. Now another step. Nadovalo has received a Jeremiah Matana ball on the outside. Filippo Saturanga tries to burn still on the outside. Unable to do so. Kevin Williams cleans it up for the USA again. Schroeder back across. Currently only a few meters out from their own line. Perry Baker, little offload. Now up the middle. This is going to be a foot race, and I believe it's going to be the USA who win it. Unless, here comes my Samoa to force him wide. It's going to be the try, though, for Isdale by the looks of it. And Perry Baker is lightning, says Terry. And come on, Fiji, says Kalara. And also, we have got the not lying down fighting, says it was Rufin as well. World Cup Morocco, the unexpected nations. Does he get this one down? He sure does. What a finish for Isdale. Now Fiji need 2 converted tries in a row in 2 minutes to get them back into this contest. They have really let this game slip. 90% of the position has got to be in favor of the USA here, though. They've been very, very strategic with how they've played this game, and it's been effective. The Fijians just haven't seemed like they've known how to stop this USA side from attacking. The Fiji team style is filling the void of no Rasaku, no Tawai, and no Whanakaivata. They commit too many mistakes when even attacking, says Sailosi. I agree. Each time they've gone for an attack in this game, they have just given position back to the USA. That kick has just missed. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. USA are on a 5-match losing streak against the Fijians. 10 points difference, though. So pretty much no matter what, Fiji need 2 tries here. If they can score within the next minute, that would then mean that they still have one last kickoff that they can try and retain. That'll be the goal for Fiji. Kick deep. Vakunara Billy takes in nicely. Big bump off. Too close to the touchline, though, I believe. His foot was in touch. Yes, it was, and it's a 4 pass from Fiji. Nosoviti says marking. Got to love the Fiji and razzle-dazzle style of play, says Terry. It's very effective at times, but also it can cost them. And this is one of those games we are seeing. It is certainly costing them here. So they will go on to their next game. They'll actually be facing Uruguay at 1:40 a.m. New Zealand time tomorrow. They do end up losing this game. Gotta love. I know I read that one, didn't I? Blueberry. Someone's calling for Blueberry. I'm not sure what Blueberry means, but that's the USA set plan that they've got here. All about to be fed in. We've seen a scrum stolen. Not there for the Fijians, though. And they need to commit everyone to this breakdown and try and get the turnover straight away. No. Vakunara Billy gives it away. I believe that was for no clear release. New Zealand versus USA in the semis. It does seem that way. Fiji are pulling back. Giving other countries the opportunity. Also, young bloods to bleed. Says Nate. Now, the USA looks like they're going to take on the 3-point attempt here. This will use up the rest of the time on the clock. They hear the siren. Big boot of it. Hasn't gone dead. The Fijians, even though they cannot win this game, looks like they want to have one last attack at the USA. And my Samoa just backing his speed. Bumping off Perry Baker. Does it twice. Sits the big man down up to the halfway line for the Fijians. Why do I get the feeling this is going to be their best attack of the day? Straight through. Easy peasy for Filippo Saturanga. He's going to be short of the line. Tries to fire it back. He plays it on the ground. And that will be the USA now getting themselves the penalty. Brilliant work from Ben Brazil. Decided against letting Fiji score the final try of the game. And said, thank you very much. We'll be taking this tap. And we will be kicking this ball into touch. And the worst thing is, I mentioned when Fiji scored early, what happened in their game up against South Africa. They went on to lose that game, 17 points to 7. Exactly the same scoreline as they had in this matchup. So that will be a disappointing one for the Fijians, defeated in this quarterfinal matchup. They'll go on to face up against Uruguay. And now the last spot, still a chance to be filled. I think that man just got hit in the balls, Cummings, unfortunately for him. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will be back in a very short moment. And that is going to be the matchup between New Zealand, or sorry, not New Zealand, it will be the matchup between South Africa and Great Britain. But I will see you all for the next one.